Good evening and welcome to the 17th round of our USAC 1978 Championship Cars series. Coming to you tonight from the... complete brain fade. The
Brands Hatch.
Thank you, Brands Hatch. I was trying to look for the round name, but I couldn't find it in the sheet I had. So anyway, we're here at Brands Hatch, and as you could hear, with me in the booth I have Jason White. I'm delighted to have you here. Nice to have you along.
Thanks, Jonathan. Glad to be here, and going to be filling sort of a color commentary role this evening as you bring us this live broadcast of a very unusual event, Indy cars turning right.
Well, I suppose the positive thing is most of the turns on this track is turning right, so at least they can just introvert what they've done in oval racing over there, over the pond for many years before.
I suppose that's true. I hadn't thought of that. But on the other hand, you also have the elevation change to consider, and it's I don't know if it's as simple a matter of switching from one side to the other. But in any case, this is definitely going to be an interesting event. I think the cars will be more comfortable when we get to a situation like Silverstone where it's high speed. You know, that's what we're used to. But Brands, this is the smaller kidney bean kind of layout, correct?
It is indeed called the Indy layout, possibly due to or after the USAC and IndyCar series visited this place.
Yeah. If you see the graphic there that's on the screen right now, that gray portion right there at the bottom right, that shows you the portion that connects the backside of the course back to the front straightaway. What you don't see there is the rest of the track that is used for the Grand Prix series and other stuff. Cars appear to be getting on the grid now, so we should be probably going through the grid at some point here.
Yeah, notice that. I'm just getting everything situated, and let's have a look. Let's see. Here we are. So as the safety car pulls off, Tiago Canola starts from pole position for
There's
Hoffman.
A name we haven't. There's a name we haven't heard for a while.
Well, he was around last time out too and won that race, so will be interesting to see what he can do once again in that Hoffman Auto Racing entry.
Gotcha.
Jason Whited with a fantastic qualifying for Machinist Union up into second. That's fantastic. Just to quickly burst through everyone because it's a short lap. Jonatan in third with Yannick lining up fourth. Jakes fifth with Tachak sixth. Seventh Schlapinski with eighth Hackman. Bouchard ninth with Ferguson rounding out the top 10. Saber 11th with Ray Riddle 12th. Bors 13th with Louis Stevens 14th. August Watering 15th with Brun Chacon 16th. Rocha 17th with Fetch in 18th. Driving the Penske tonight, that'll be interesting to watch how that goes. Wattman 19th, Drexler 20th. Angel May 21st, and Greg Dallacella looks to be rounding out the field in 22nd.
And you're bang on time because there's the green. Here we go.
And let's see everyone coming down Pilgrim's Drop and up Pilgrim's Rise to Druids. Canola looks to be holding on to the lead.
Oh my goodness, we have a massive accident back here. Jason Fitch just ran right off into the barrier at very high speed, lost the rear wing. The car is still drivable by some miracle. I don't know how that happened. He just went clear off the circuit as if he didn't even turn the wheel. I'm pulling a
dear.
One. Yeah, very, very dramatic.
It looks like he got slightly offline going into turn one there, and as you say, span off, and that's a massive hit.
But we got Tiago in the lead.
Yep, Canola still holding on to the lead with White is still in second and Tim still in third. Yannick up into fourth in the AMC. That's one of my favorite cars in the field, mainly due to the engine sound, but nice to see him doing well. Jakes in fifth still. Schlapinski still in sixth. Seventh for Bouchard, so he's climbed a couple of positions. Tachak has dropped one. Oh, and there's, I think that was Fitch off the side of the road there, getting out of the way.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
looks like Fredriksson, nope, not able to look up the inside.
Yeah, definitely he's going to have suspension damage that's going to have to be repaired. I mean, he's assuming he gets back to the pits. He's crawling up onto the Jim Clark curve now. So he is going to make it back to the pits, but that was a very savage hit as he is just now entering the pit lane, Jonathan.
Oh, that's good to hear. Ooh, and that was Tachak just about holding on to 7th ahead of Bouchard, and it looks like Bouchard almost got passed by Fredriksson as a follow-up to that, but Bouchard tried to go round outside of Druids and get the inside line for Graham Hill, but that clearly didn't work. But Fredriksson now with a great run down the front stretch, or I suppose front curve, up to Paddock Hill Bend. Let's see if Fredriksson can continue up the inside. Ooh, not quite. Oh,
man.
That looked like
Runs
a
wide.
tiny bit of contact. Oh no, he's spinning!
No. Oh, shoot, and he
and
collects.
Hackman nearly. Wow.
No, there was contact back there. That was, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to take another look at that. But that was clearly, oh my goodness. See, that's the problem. You get in the power with these turbocharged engines, and the lag hits. And I'm pretty sure there was contact there.
Well, that's the lag is part of it, but that's also, I think, the outside tarmac there is quite slippery, quite dirty.
Very slippery. So. Yeah. There was. It appears there was contact. Yeah.
Wow,
or if not. Yeah, there was just a grazing contact. Adam ought to be okay, but clearly was not part of the program for him. Goodness.
And also, we haven't mentioned it, but we'll be going for 100 laps, 5 laps in the books. And lap traffic already showing up for the leaders.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. This is a very, very short circuit, and this is going to be, yeah, you're gonna see lap traffic quite a lot throughout this, which is going to make things very difficult for the drivers. Lewis Stevens also in the pits right now, getting repairs, and Fitch is still in the pits, receiving repairs to his Penske. So that's really unfortunate for him. It only took 1 lap before he was in for repairs, but we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a survival race in many ways for a lot of people.
Very likely to be true, as Stevens now was actually coming out of the pits 21st, and right in the middle of a battle pack there between Hackman, Fredriksson and Ray Riddle. I would honestly think that the Lola would be quite a decent car around this place, but maybe I'm wrong.
The Lola? I don't know. I mean, I think the biggest factor in this race, I mean, I haven't practiced any for this, and I only know what I know from the broadcast, but I would think that on a track like this, thinking back to Mosport, the cars that had 4-banger engines had a little bit of an easier time, as here comes Fredriksson up the inside of Hackman, finally gets by, Hackman, right at Druids.
Quite, and Hackman not fighting it too hard, backing off and seen in position for now.
That was just a grazing hit that he had with Fredriksson too, so I don't think he had. I'd be really surprised if he's carrying any damage on that Penske. But time will tell. As, my goodness, Riddle is a man on the move just a little bit further back. He's looking to size up. He's just dispensed with a couple of cars, and now he's looking to size up Lewis Stevens on the main straight here. It looks like he's got the legs to do it in that Lola. Up the inside, yeah, he makes easy work of Lewis Stevens. Look at that.
Yeah, that looked very easy for the Cosworth power in the Lola there.
Yeah, see, the problem is the 4-cylinder cars make their power, at a much lower RPM. So, and that's what you need around a course like this. This is not a high-speed course. So I think the people who are driving with V8 engines are likely to have much more awkward moments.
You're probably right. Around.
So I think we're going to see a very different situation at Silverstone in 2 weeks' time, where the V8 cars will be able to stretch their legs a lot easier.
Definitely possible. Ooh, in the meantime, Jakes has climbed up to 4th, but nearly had a bit of a moment there. He put the right side tires on the grass heading into Graham Hill Bend, and I was almost certain that he would spin the car, but he held on to it and lives on to fight another day.
Yeah, Jakes is driving an earlier, or actually this is a Mark III Wildcat that he's driving. And the paint scheme is slightly different than what we've been used to seeing from our now newly crowned USAC champion. In the actual race, if I remember correctly, this car, Gordon Johncock retired this car because of a cracked header. And essentially that renders the turbocharger useless because all the pressure bleeds away. And on a circuit like this, if you don't have any turbocharger pressure, you're just a sitting duck out there, and you're just in people's way. So he just retired out of. He could have continued going, but he's just like, nah, I'm just gonna park this thing because there's no point. I'm just gonna be in people's way. So it's still critical, a component around here, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's can't remember who. Oh, it was McRae, wasn't it? In a rally. That's for 2 in the era of the Group A with 2-liter engines and all that. They had turbos, and his turbo broke for whatever reason. So I think it lost like 4 minutes on a stage. That was fairly short. Managed to, with some chicken wire, get it linked back together and did a faster stage time on the next stage.
Oh, we have got Greg Delacella out of the race too for some reason. We missed why.
No, that's unfortunate.
But that's the only retirement so far in this race, which is surprising. I would have expected more. But so far, it appears everyone's spread out a little bit at this point and just is trying to get into some kind of a rhythm, which is hard to do. Oh, here comes Vadim Tasiak trying to overtake Schlapinski into Druids. Can't get it done. Lots of tire smoke there.
Well, I've noticed many of our drivers are spinning up their inside rear tire going through there, so
yeah,
a lot of pendulum momentum from the cars.
Yeah, it really does feel that way around this circuit. You have the car, the weight transfer is quite dramatic, especially exiting the backside of the course and then going up to where Clark Curve is. That you're basically shifting the weight from one side of the car to the other. Mm-hmm. And if you don't do it very gingerly, it's not going to work out too well. So
it'll be the old Scandi flick without you wanting it to.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Schlapinski made a mistake because he was a little bit further ahead, and we can see now
there's contact. Sorry, contact between Bouchard and my goodness, contact between Bouchard, Fredrickson, and Boss. Fredrickson out of the race. Let me have another look at that myself so I can see what's going on, because Fredrickson also driving a Mark IV Wildcat, so we have different Wildcats that we're used to seeing in this series. Goes on the inside. Clearly, what happened there was let me run this back. Shoot.
Looked like Bouchard was sneaking up the inside, maybe?
Yeah, Bouchard was sneaking up the inside and clearly either didn't realize that Hackman is also off the course. Adam Hackman off the course as well. That's a separate incident. But looking at this incident one more time.
That's an off at turn 1 for Hackman. Quite heavy too.
Yeah, he looked up the inside, and Fredrickson wasn't aware that he was making the attempt and just drove it to the side of him. Then comes the impact with Boss. So, kind of a chain reaction of incidents there that happened. I'm not sure what happened with Hackman, but in any event, that's more cars out of the race.
Well, it looks like Angel may have decided to park the car.
Oh boy!
Unless there's some. No, I can't see any smoke out of the rear, so I think that's a park the car to not be too much of a danger to everyone else.
Maybe.
Canola and White in the meantime in the top front of the field is still going at it. 0.4 of a seconds at the moment as they head through Graham Hill Bend and working through Lewis Stevens, that is.
We got Juha Boss into the pits now. He missed his pit box. He's backing into it now, and he's trying to get the car fixed. But he's gonna. Or I'm sorry, Drexler. This is Drexler that we're looking at. I guess that it was Drexler all along. I in the number 80 car.
When looking through the field, I just caught Luciano Roja having what looked like what would that be? 720.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I am looking at Juha Boss in number 80, and he's in the pits. Getting repairs. Drexler is in number 22. My apologies.
Yeah, that was a spin for Luciano Roja. Didn't hit anything and could have been able to rejoin. Actually, in the meantime, being lapped by Yates, and someone has spun off to the inside there, that looked like. What's that? Yes, it is. It's Vadim Tachak. So Tachak has spun out of what I think was 6th or 7th place and goes down to 8th.
I'm reading him as 9th on my screen.
Oh, so he lost another position rejoining.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh yeah, Bouchard went past too, and I think Boss was involved in that incident too. Left nowhere to go and hit.
Yeah, that was what originally happened. Is the two of them got together, and then there was a stationary car, and then Juha came around the corner and nowhere to go.
Sorry, go on.
Even at reduced speeds, these cars don't like to change direction quickly.
No, indeed. As Yannick makes a move on Schlapinski. Schlapinski had passed him a couple of, maybe 3 laps ago, but Yannick now retakes 4th place.
Yes, he does. Driving that American Motors car. News from the pit lane. Angel May says that she wanted to do better. Was unsure if she was going to race. Needed much more practice. So your assumption was correct, Jonathan. She just parked the car because she figured she needed some more practice, which is, that's fine.
Yeah, I very much admire that kind of decision when it feels
right. There's no worse feeling than getting involved in an accident where that if your car simply hadn't been there, things would have been different. So I admire that. If she thinks she needs more practice, then that's what she needs. Here comes. We got an interesting battle here going on between August Watring and I believe that's Bruno Chacon in the Ziggy Snyder Coyote as they come around the Druids Bend. Wow.
Let's jump on board with Watering's McLaren here and see what he sees.
Well, they're both V8s, not the same kind of V8. The V8 in Chacon's car is the Foyt-built V8 that traces its roots way back through the 60s. Used to be originally built by Ford, and then Foyt bought the parts and changed the manifold to read his name instead of Ford. And that V8 still very powerful. Watching in the more modern Cosworth DFX in the McLaren. So interesting matchup of cars here and drivers. I got to say, if you look at the point spread, Chacon is actually in 6th right now, I believe, just behind myself. And he's had a pretty good series this year.
Yeah, it's been very, very consistent. Finished, I think, all but one race this year. And that definitely shows with a very, very decent position in the championship at the moment. Ooh, and we can hear and see riding on board with Watering here down the front, out of Jim Clark curve and down the front straight, and so much lag and so much just immediate power. And just,
out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it's just hold on for dear life and hope you turn the wheel the correct way or fly off.
It is like riding a bucking bronco out there for sure.
I don't think that suffices enough. Oh, as Watering has a moment and almost bins it, but I think he just about got away with that. car get kicked slightly sideways.
Yeah, he was really lucky to get away with that. He could have very easily, if you clip the grass here, that's not good. He was lucky that he didn't do that on like a downhill section, like on a paddock or something. But
Well,
but you really are on a knife edge with these cars. It's the only way to drive quickly, or in them, is to have them on a knife edge. Mario Andretti's famous quote: "If you know, you're not driving fast enough." I forget the actual. I'm going to look up the quote now because I want to get it right.
while you do that, I notice Yates has dropped a few positions. He's now back to 7th, running right behind David Saber, and Saber runs a little bit deep into Paddock Hill Bend. I see Yates trying to look up the inside, not able to make it this time.
Yeah, Mario's quote was, if everything seems under control, you're not going fast enough." And if you look at these cars, they are on the very brink of getting out of control, pretty much in every corner. And you have to be doing that in order to be quick around here, in order to extract the very maximum from the car. Problem is, you're on the very edge of disaster as you're doing it. So you are on a knife edge.
Yep, that's why I prefer touring cars. Even when you get really close to that edge, you still feel like you have some kind of control of what is going on.
Well, Jakes is having a heck of a time trying to get around
Saber,
David Saber. Yeah, he keeps trying. He had a look going down the hill towards Druids, but just couldn't get it done. But I think it's fair to say he's being held up by Saber. This is an interesting matchup between a 4-banger Offenhauser and a V8 Cosworth DFX. Two engines, like I mentioned earlier, that produce their power very differently. One of them probably is better suited to this course than the other. The funny thing, though, is the 1978 Brands Hatch Indy, if I remember correctly, was won by Rick Mears driving a Penske, which had a V8. So
maybe a little bit of driver difference there.
I think that comes down to driver difference because, as Paul Page told us in our interview with him, he was probably the most naturally gifted driver he ever saw at Indianapolis, but naturally gifted driver, period, he was. And he was able to make it work with a car that probably didn't have the engine that was best suited for the task, I would think.
That's definitely the mark of the greats, so to speak. That's they either drive through the problem or around the problem. Oh, that's a spinner indeed. That's one of the Penske's, I think.
Yes, Mears did indeed win the race, and Tom Sneva was second. So it was a Penske 1-2 in October of 1978.
Possibly a little bit of setup too.
Actually, it was all V8s at the top, believe it or not. Rutherford was third, Voigt was fourth, Dallenbach was fifth, Salt Walter sixth, Dick Simon was the first car that was a 4-cylinder, and he was seventh. So maybe I'm just maybe I'm way off here. I don't know.
Well, I would guess then that the 4-banger would definitely be the more drivable car.
Okay, let's put it that way. It's more drivable, not necessarily quicker.
No, indeed. Oh, and now Yates has gotten past Saber. Saber, I think, may have made a mistake. He's quite a bit back. Oh, and he runs deep.
Oh, he's off on the very slippery tarmac there.
And he did a very right thing, just a tiny bit of throttle application, not too much, and he survives the fight another day. So he's still very close at the front. Whitehead keeping Canola very honest indeed. Actually, I think both of them driving. No, one of them is driving one of the old Eagles, and
Yep.
Whitehead, of course, in the old McLaren.
He's actually driving an older spec Atlanta, I believe. Or it's a race car Atlanta that he's driving.
Wow, okay.
Jason Whitehead. So
that's even more amazing than.
It can pass easily as a McLaren just because of the body lines, but both of them, Canola and Whitehead, definitely not driving top line equipment.
Top line equipment, no, but definitely doing a good job, as I noticed Wattman out.
Walkman's out. Well, he was being lapped there a couple like by the leaders. It appeared as if he might have been having a problem. I wasn't keeping a close eye on it, but there you see, right there, Whited gets by into the lead. I have another look at that in a replay and see what happened here. Yeah, he just came off of Clark Curve at a better. He just flat out dragged him down into Paddock as they exited Clark. He just got the power down better. Those are the same power plants, both of them.
Well, there was that, and I think he also got Canola might have slightly got held up behind. That was Yannick, I think, that they were both trying to lap, as White now a bit more stern with the actual lapping part, gets by Yannick. Yannick,
meanwhile,
we've seen previously be a bit very, very difficult to pass when being put the first lap down.
Yes, the cars have spread out generally here. Where we are, lap 24 right now, so about a quarter of the way through the race. Fitch is slowing down.
Actually, lap 30 for this.
Or actually, Fitch might have been exiting the pits there, but he's back on track now in 18th place. Oh no, he's pulling to the inside. Something's not right with that car.
Either not right, or he's letting some of the cars past him.
No, this may be a retirement here. I don't know. Yeah, he may be letting. Oh no, he's spooling it up again. He's trying to. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he's letting cars by.
Yeah, he's just trying to find a good-ish place to get the car into the field again, as Rocha has retired too, I notice.
Yeah, he's coming around. Oh goodness, yeah. Oh, I can see right now. I can see what the problem is. I think that Fitch has had another off somewhere because his rear wing, if you look at it, is bent on the left-hand side.
Oh, it is indeed.
Yeah, so he's done something else has happened out there, with that number 7 car. In any case, looking ahead towards. Goodness, it's trying to find the best battle in the circuit here.
I noticed, I think that was Watering and Chacon has gapped themselves a little bit for the time being.
Whited's having to thread his way through traffic here.
And that's the very traffic I was mentioning just a moment ago.
Yeah, and now he's coming up on one of the Coyotes, looks to be Chacon. So the question is he going to be able to thread his way through here and still maintain the gap to Canola? I would anticipate one stop in this race. The fuel rule of only using 2 tanks is in place here, but I'll be an astronaut before we need to impose any penalties, because I think the two tanks of fuel is way more than you need for this place.
Yeah, I would almost suspect you can run like a half or slightly over half a tank.
Yeah, because
both stints.
Two tanks should last you 150 miles. We're only going 120 here. It might be a good time while we have a lull in the action to bring up the points breakdown for this particular race, because this is a unique points breakdown for this race. Right. It is not the same as all the other ones. They had to do a bespoke points spread for brands because of the fact that it was only 120 miles. So there you go. You got these really oddball point numbers through there.
But most likely had some kind of bearing on how they would
do
the points elsewhere.
I'm sure they drug out some kind of big giant machine with punchable numbers and stuff. It's really cool. If you've never been to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, when you go to the museum, they have a section that shows all the old stuff they used to use to keep track of the cars, telemetry and things, and it looks like big giant cash registers or adding machines. It's hilarious. But I'm sure that they calculated this out to suit 120 miles, and that's why we have that one specific point spread. See.
You see, while we're looking at that, just a quick look at the top 5 in the championship. So Jakes, as we mentioned, is our crowned USAC champion.
Yep, deserved.
For sure, definitely very consistent and finishing high up every single race. I think he's had two or maybe 3 retirement over the full season. Hackman in the second, and he could still be passed by Brian Yannick, who's in third. They are about 450 points apart, so if Yannick were to score very well here, it could come down to the wire in the final race of the season. Likewise for Schlapinski, who's 4th in the championship standings on 3,200 and a little bit of points. And you yourself still 5th in the championship on 2,776 points.
May not be after this race if Chacon has a good finish. We'll see.
True. But still.
Yeah.
Let's see. Back to the track, and it looks like Wattman was able to... Sorry, not Wattman. Whited was able to keep some of the distance between himself and Canola.
Just to give you an idea of the pace of the front of the pack,
Wow.
we now only have Whited and Canola on the leader lap. Everybody else has been lapped at least once. Team has been lapped. Janik has been lapped. Schlapinski has been lapped. So that gives you an idea of the relative pace of this race.
That is absolutely crazy.
It's shocking. Coming up on lap 40 here. So 60 to go. This is actually progressing really quickly. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Jason Whitehead can maintain that gap to which right now is 2 seconds and change between himself and Canola. And again, like the Rascar, the Rascar did not win any races in real life. So if it wins tonight, not only will it be, I mean, I think Jason Whitehead has won other races in other forms at ISO, like he might have won a touring car race somewhere or something. So I don't think it'll be his first ISO win. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But it will certainly be a strange result car-wise because the Rascar never won anything.
Quite. I mean, it's one of those times, I think, when a driver and a car really suits each other around a certain place. I mean, just take, for an example, Monaco in...
Oh my goodness! A bunch of DNFs just popped up on our screen out of nowhere.
Oh dear, that's not good.
And that points to discos. That certainly looks like a massive number of discos all happening at once. My goodness.
Canola.
Janik,
Tim.
yeah.
Yannick.
Canola's out. Janik's out. Schlapinski out. Tasiak out. Ridal out. And this all happened at once. So I don't know what that was, but that's that points to some kind of server lag of some kind.
And that looks eerily similar to an issue we had at that would be I think it was one of the Silverstone races we did in the BTCC many years ago.
Oh boy, that's the worst kind of DNF you can have. I mean, it's oh yeah, here's our confirmation right here. Cesarius says in the YouTube chat, "Good evening, best regards from the Disco Club." There you go. That's what happened.
So definitely.
Well, everybody wants to watch their Netflix on Sunday night.
Well, looks like there may be something going on. I wonder if either... Looks like there may be something coming up here because Jakes has pulled off the grid still with a running car. So I wonder if there is some chat on the server that we're not seeing.
Well, maybe the stewards have elected to do something to redress this situation. But in any case, where are we at? Anyway, in any case, Jason Whitehead's 2 laps out in front of David Saber, who's second. Jules Bouchard third. Watring is fourth. Jakes and Canola are 5th and 6th, but they'll be tumbling down the standings as everybody moves up. Good grief. That's really unfortunate to see.
Definitely. Zone Yakes has retired too.
Yep. Well, that certainly thins out the field.
Yeah, for sure. Very unfortunate for us, especially because, as you say, big gaps between all the remaining cars.
I was just about to give a shout out to who was driving the number 25 at this point. I believed it was.
I think that's Jonatan.
That was Jonatan. I was about to give a shout out to him for keeping control of the car. In such a in a car that, under normal circumstances, is so loose. You know, in a situation like this, and then as I was looking at him, ready to make that statement, the car vanished.
Yeah.
So, there goes that. So, Whited, barring any catastrophic circumstance, has basically got this one in the bag. He just has to keep going.
Quite.
But I mean, he could drive at a very reduced pace and still make it. I mean, the question becomes, can Bouchard and it looks like Dressler has had another problem. Michael Dressler is going into the pits with a lost front wing, so he's got a problem.
Yeah, he lost it down the front straight and hit the inside wall. I'm really sorry for all of you, if any from the Disco Club is watching in the morning. I'm really sorry for that situation. Really bad.
Bandwidth demands on a Sunday night are high.
Oh, and it looks like there has been a decision made of some kind, because White has just parked it on the exit of turn 1.
Well, that's interesting. So I wonder what we're going to do, because we're 43 laps into the race.
User joined your channel.
The next thing that occurs to me is that you could go back to where everybody was at that particular time.
Oh, White has retired too.
Yes, I think that would be the most sensible decision, to go back to where everybody was.
So you're going to take a snapshot in time, go back to where everybody was, regrid, and restart.
That looks the only solution.
How then do you account for laps down?
Well, I'll have a lot of work after the race for that.
Oof, man, that's a tall order. That's a lot of because basically you had, oh goodness, you had a bunch of cars that were laps down. The only cars that were on the lead lap were the first two. So the question becomes how do you have to basically go back and look at that and see where everybody's at. That's a Herculean effort, Juha.
Yes, it will be a lot of effort. But for now, if everyone's watching and got booted off the server, please rejoin.
All right.
So you've heard it from the admins, and I'll repeat it. Anyone booted from the server from that, what was coined Disco Club, you may rejoin the server, and we'll be back running in a few minutes time.
I mean, given the fact that the championship is already decided, I can see why, I can see why this makes sense.
Well, partly that, and partly the amount of drivers that got disconnected.
Yeah, there was a huge chunk, and it essentially made the race academic. So yeah, but my heart goes out to Juha. That is going to be a really difficult job.
Well, the difficult job is, well, we're not going to rerun the whole thing. How do we count the results for this?
Beats me.
Well, I suppose run it like a 60 lap race or something.
Well, the incident occurred, it appeared, I don't remember the actual lap that it occurred on, but it was like 5 or 6 cars at once just got the boot.
Lap 39 to be precise.
All right, so lap 39 was when it happened.
So a 61 lap sprint. Or 61 lap race at least for the second part.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Yes, so you'll have to bear with me while I sort this. And give the time for everybody to rejoin the server.
Might be a good time to make everyone aware of the trivia question, Jonathan.
Oh, right. I completely lost my track on that regard, so let's have a look. And the trivia question for you to ponder as this situation is sorted out would be: what special arrangement was required for the USAC Indy cars to compete at Brands? Was it A bit of widening of the track? Was it B, cantilevered fuel hoses? Or was it C, neither of the above? And amazingly enough, I got it right when I had a guess, because I had no real idea of what was the correct answer.
I should have put a C answer in there. I was going to put a joke one in there, like something about not getting through customs, but All right, so let's think about this. We got a 60 lap race instead.
I wonder, do you think they could make it on a no stop from lap 60 for
Potentially,
61
yes.
laps?
Potentially, yes, they could. Yes, I definitely I could see that happening. Because let me think about this. It's about 1.5 miles around.
1.2 around.
I'm
Good,
sorry,
because if you use 2 liters a lap, you can make it easily.
Okay, well that doesn't surprise me in the least. So that's interesting. It could become an economy run towards the end. But the question now becomes:
do you run as the tortoise or the hare?
Yeah, and knowing this group, they're probably gonna want to run as the hare, but we'll see.
I know I would choose the tortoise.
I mean, the great thing about this is it gives those who had early issues like Jason Finch another chance at running this and a chance at doing well. But unfortunately, you'll be starting from that point, which means
where we left off.
Which means he will be several laps down towards the end.
Well, at least, as you say, he'll have an unbent car.
Yeah, he'll at least have a fresh car to start with. I should have made a red flag graphic for you there, Jonathan. Sorry about that.
Well, that's fine. It's not often that this kind of situation comes about, so...
Thankfully, no.
That's
I hope it'll never occur again.
Indeed.
Here's Slapinski thinking he's going to get some time on the track. I don't know.
Well, he can if he wants. It won't influence the grid.
All right.
Well then, let's actually jump on board with Mr. Slapinski and have a ride around the track from his point of view.
Yeah, because we joined a bit late to really talk about that. He's heading back to the pits again, actually. Now he's exiting. Okay. Coming up the hill towards the exit.
No, I think
Making the
you're
right-
on
Whoa, whoa.
replay, actually.
Am I on replay?
I think he's in 30s and heading to...
No, he's
Jim
now he's
Clark.
heading down. Now he's heading down towards. It's weird. Who am I watching? I'm watching Shazarius, and I'm not on replay.
And on my screen, he's coming across the start-finish line now.
Huh.
And turning into Paddock Hill Bend at the top of the hill. Taking it very easy. Down Pilgrim's Drop and then up Pilgrim's Rise.
That's hilarious. There are two Schlapinskys on track at once.
What?
Yeah, I know. There's a second one that is just now coming down the front straightaway.
Whatever is going on here?
I don't know.
Well, that's certainly one thing we'll need to sort out before we go
Yeah,
on.
but it doesn't make sense that there be two people using the same car.
And the same name.
Yeah, at first I thought maybe I'm just looking at Jacon, but in any case, the server is going to be stopped and restarted again. So,
Exactly.
yeah, so the problem will take care of itself. But that is really weird.
Well,
I feel like I'm watching a Twilight Zone episode.
quite. Well, let's try and onboard with the Ray Riddle instead, coming down the front straight. So that you get the full lap on board. Heading up towards Paddock Hill Bend again. As I said, top of the hill, turning down Pilgrim's Drop. Quite a drop actually, and then up Pilgrim's Rise. Under the Dunlop Bridge into Druids. Best overtaking opportunity around the track. Try to get the power down and down into Graham Hill Bend. Probably the most difficult turn on the track for these particular beasts.
Yeah, I would say so. And now
Yeah.
here comes the big, coming up here is going to be the big, that's the big shift in weight right there.
Through 30s and then Jim Clark curve to get onto the front straight once again. I mean, it's amazing to watch. I would think Ray is going quite, maybe not 100%, but definitely not lower than say 75-80%. But it looks like it's going more or less in slow motion.
Well, he's got the car. He doesn't have the car aggressively geared. He's got it geared in such a way where he's got very low RPM, which I would think would make it very hard to control that car. Going into lazy slides all over the place would be what I would expect if I were driving that car.
Definitely possible.
Watch, he grabbed a lower gear there, and suddenly the car lurched. But he's coming into pits now.
It was definitely taking it easy. Drexler is going a little bit quicker. Actually sideways going into Paddock Hill.
Just a word of warning that we will go to a new session shortly.
Okay, thank you.
And
Johan.
as everybody seems to have completed lap 37, the remaining race will be on 63 laps.
Okay, and the laps down will be taken care of after the race.
That will still have to be discussed with USAC officials.
Oh boy,
In
USAC.
pure USAC tradition, obviously.
Yes, USAC man must discuss. So we will treat it as the race that we see on screen. And
I think that will be the safest solution.
okay, all right.
Yes,
then
just
then
treat
that
it
is
as the race you see.
all right. That is what we will do, and we will wait for the USAC officials in their red blazers and white caps to, assuming they didn't forget their passports on their way to the UK. We'll let them figure it out.
Yeah, so we'll have a 63 lap race preceded by a 3-minute warm-up session.
Okay. Oh, Jonathan, you being our resident touring car expert, what do you expect will happen next Sunday in the twin races we have at a very different circuit from this one, Paul Ricard?
Oh, that's very difficult to say. Um, let's actually see what the timing looks like at the moment, because that I haven't double checked in a while.
Starts in
Actually can't at
1900.
the moment.
Front wheel drive hell for some people in that race, from what I gather. Although I'm driving a front wheel drive Ford, and it's not quick, but I'm not cursing the thing. I'm not mad when I'm driving it. I don't know.
No,
Maybe I have different maybe I have different
I
expectations than other people.
I'd say it's a thing of when you've done enough laps around that track, because Paul Ricard is quite quick corners. The more work you're putting in the front tires, the more you will feel it towards the end of the race or the end of the tire stint. That, oh dear, this is not working out well. This is getting tricky. So I mean, just based on tire wear, the most likely winner is one of the works BMWs. Um, but obviously the Renault team has it as their home base, and when I did some testing, the Renault was quite well handling for the track, it has to be said.
Yes.
Well, I mean, honestly, it could be pretty much anyone that wins the race as such.
I'll just be bumbling around at the back, having fun, trying to keep the car straight.
Let's see. Yeah. In the real life event of 95, Frank Biela and Audi won, which I can also sort of see, because back then in 95, I don't think they have had the weight limit in that particular race, so the tire wear in the Audi would not have been
User left your
overly bad
channel.
either. So, well, most likely BMW will win the race overall, event overall. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm finally driving a different car. I'm driving the Honda of David Leslie. So I hope I'll have a good event and honor David Leslie with a good overall finish.
I'm always partial to the mundanos, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I've noticed previously that you seem to prefer that car.
Yeah, I don't know. It's predictable. I find it predictable. So
Understandable. It is a very nice car to drive.
I also modeled the steering wheel that's inside. So
There we have the answer. You want to see you want to see your work, your production at work.
well, no, not really. I mean, I'm when I'm driving, I'm sitting on the hood, looking in the middle, because I'm used to open wheelers.
Oh,
So I don't want all that clutter of pillars and stuff around me. I'd much rather be out front, so I basically just sit on the hood, more or less.
not seeing everything is part of the fun.
Uh-huh. Yeah, for those of you who are curious as to my absence of late, I've had a lot of real life stuff that I've been having to deal with, more or less. I won't go into any of the gory details, but I'd like to thank everybody for their patience with me while I sort this stuff out, because a lot of things I basically had to just drop out of sight for a bit while I was taking care of things, and I want to publicly thank the rest of the ISO admin team Alberto and Yuha and Richard and of course Jonatan and everyone behind the scenes for keeping things running. Um, the You guys have done a fantastic job, and I appreciate you giving me the space to sort things out. You guys are the absolute best.
We do our best to have everything up and running, no matter who is available or not at the moment. But it was clear, very clear, and very. We were unanimous in the way of saying, we'll hold the fort, take the time you need.
Yeah.
And,
well, I'm very. I just want you all to know how grateful I am. Thank you.
You're very much welcome, even though I can't speak for everyone, but you're welcome.
All right, here we go. Let's see what happens this time.
Yo.
With white on the pulse, so we're essentially starting where we left off. The only difference is we'll be missing drivers who decided not to rejoin, and the lap count. Everybody will be on the same lap, so we can take it as we see it. Here. We'll
at least assume it like that for.
Yeah, we'll just treat it as for now, and then we'll let the stewards sort out stuff. Okay, so
They are away once again, and whited, as you mentioned, on pole. Canola now starting second, with Tim in third, Yannick fourth, Shlapinski in fifth, Jake sixth, Saber seventh, Tachak eighth, Watering ninth, and Bouchard rounding out the top 10. Chacon 11th, Louis Stevens 12th, Bors 13th, Ray Riddle looks to have some kind of issue, car missing in 14th, Drexler 15th, Fitch 16th, Wattman 17th, and Rocha looks to be starting 18th, and Shlapinski too with issues in 19th. Wow.
Huh. All right, well, we're looking to get another running start here. Pace car in. Wait, it's got a huge jump on, no, here comes Canola. Okay, they're slowing up a bit.
Well, it looked like the safety car was running a little quick there maybe, but whited away. And
there
it looks
go.
like Tim will take second. He does indeed.
Yeah, look at that.
And Yannick up in the third too, so Canola with a very bad restart. That sounded like someone had a bit of a moment. No, they all survived.
No, everyone got through paddock okay this time. Excellent.
Shlapinski fourth now, Jakes fifth, Saber sixth, Canola down to seventh, so Canola struggling a lot right here. I wonder if he's decided to take the no-stop approach for the end and running a lot of fuel in the car.
Possibly.
Well, here he goes trying to go around outside of Saber and almost had a coming together with Tachak, but Saber holding the inside line for now. Tachak now with an overlap on the inside.
Yeah, if you look at Team, how much his back end is stepping out in this car, he's basically driving it like a World of Outlaws sprinter around this circuit. Just like almost at a 45-degree angle going through corners, or a 30-degree angle.
Well, I think that's what Jon enjoys, so...
Yeah, he must. Clearly what Danny and Gaius like to do, as if you look back, there's Janik up to third, I believe.
Yep, and Shlapinski is still trying to keep him honest in fourth. And Canola still not past Saber in sixth and seventh.
There's a really dandy of a battle going on right now between Canola and Saber.
And Tachak trying to vie
and
into it too.
Yeah, really excellent battle going on there.
Bouchard not too far behind either. Such a jump on board of Bouchard's Lindsay Hopkins race team entry. Looking forward towards the battle for 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th.
Yeah, he's got the 4-cylinder there. Goodness, the other thing that these drivers have to contend with is all the smoke that's thrown up in your face from the cars in front of you.
Very
so
much
not
so.
only, and you can see how much he's fighting that wheel just to keep the car going the direction he wants.
Ooh, and look at that! Canola round outside of Paddock Hill. What a move!
Unbelievable. Wow. That was fantastic.
That is such a brave thing to do. Wowee.
Jules is basically holding station behind this group, thinking, I'm just going to wait and see what happens.
Quite.
And he's got to be really paying attention to what happens ahead of him here, because as we saw with Juha earlier, you could become the unwilling participant in an accident if you're not careful.
And I noticed two drivers making their way up the field at the moment. Is both Luis Stevens and Luciano Rocha. Both of them up from near the back of the field at the start here. And I think Rocha had some fairly decent pace, but had a bit of a damaged car from early on, and was playing catch up from that point in the previous instance of the race. So, and Bors has made his way past Bouchard, and Bouchard is really trying to work that car.
Yeah, he's having to fight it all the way around the circuit. That's for sure. So now Juha's on his way after Vadim Tasiak and Saber. Seems to have pretty good control of that car. I would think he's going to get there pretty quickly. We'll see.
Quite. And Tuchak hooked the inside wheel. Ooh, as Saber runs deep into Druids. Tuchak up the inside. Saber should
look
have
at this. Nope.
Wow, so Tuchak, opportunistic move there up into 7th.
Yep.
And here comes Bors as well. All sideways, trying to get the power down and find a move going on Saber.
Yeah, definitely a situation where getting the power down, who can get it down the best, exiting the corner usually is the one who's going to win a drag race.
Look at how much that PC5 Penske is tailing about as Bors tries to put the power down. Especially whenever it's like a curved acceleration zone, he's all over the shop.
And Saber's locking up on almost every corner here. So if Juha just plays his cards right, he should be able to get by without too much trouble in a lap or two here.
I wonder if Saber locked up early on in the race and he's paying for it.
Oh, look at this around the out. No, possibly trying on the inside here. I think Juha might be able to do it here.
Oh, he
Yep,
definitely
there he
has to
goes.
run.
Yep, there he goes.
Oh, not quite.
look at Saber trying to keep the car under control there. And there goes Juha through.
If he can get it stopped, that is, because Saber will try to cut back. Typical touring car move.
Trying, but...
Oh, he's got the overlap.
As he got the inside line. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, contact. Contact.
Just a tiny bit, but in real life open wheel, that could have been very bad indeed.
This is a fantastic scrap. And Bouchard is right behind them here. Here comes Juha again. Is he going to make it by this time?
Wow.
Looks like he does.
Oh, and Bouchard now
Bouchard
trying around
around
outside.
the outside. Yeah, is he going to get it done?
Whoa.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, he's holding on to it. I think it's passed. Wow.
Fantastic. I mean, you're right on the knife edge driving that way. That was great driving. Fantastic stuff.
Bouchard now trying to take the opportunity to pass Bors. I don't think he'll be able to, although it was fairly close. Oh, Bors runs deep though. And Bouchard slips right past.
Yep, there you go. Wow.
Very much
Here's
typical.
Bouchard. There's Fitch driving slowly again, so apparently some kind of incident has occurred.
Oh, and unfortunately, Michael Drechler has.
Oh, look at
no.
Bouchard sideways and gets hit from behind by Boss. Also contact right there with Saber as he tries to recover. That could have ended very badly, but did not.
I wonder if that.
Wow.
I wonder if Bors had a bit of deja vu there. That was awkwardly similar to what happened earlier. But they all live on to fight again, and fight they will by the looks of things. Well, look at that, Bosses Penske cocking a wheel front left off the ground as he goes through Graham Hill.
Goodness. There he goes up the inside. Up the inside of Bouchard. Let's see if he can hang on to it. No. Oh! Boy,
both of them sideways.
There's evidently very little grip on the inside there in Clark Curve.
And Bouchard similarly with a very loose car right there, so all of them working hard. And I noticed Canola, while we've been following this fantastic scrap, Canola has made his way up into third. And he's chasing after Tim right now.
This battle is by no means over. Look at how much rotation they're getting as the cars change weight from one side to the other. It's doing a great job just keeping them under control.
Indeed, it looks like a nearly as close a fight is going on between Yannick Schlapinski and Yates for 4th, 5th and 6th. But for now, let's see if that is as close. It is. So Yannick with Schlapinski right behind him, and Yates about 2, maybe 3 car lengths back in 6th, keeping a watching brief on what's going on ahead.
Yeah, so if you look at Schlapinski there, you've got, this is a very interesting combination. 2 American-built cars, 2 American-built engines. One of them an experimental engine made by American Motors Corporation. The other one, the one we mentioned before, the old Ford engine, now coined Foyt V8. So 2 all-American efforts here. And Schlapinski definitely sizing up Janik here.
Definitely looks like that. I wonder if the natural understeer in that Coyote will give him a little bit of help around this place.
I don't know. He's got plenty of extra front wing up there to use as he's
practically pushing him.
He's practically pushing the car in front. But clearly that didn't work out too well, as here comes our champion David Jakes looking to take Schlapinski as they come down to
car wide.
Yeah, that was Wattman.
Well, luckily Wattman knew what to do right there, and all is good. Ooh, as Schlapinski notches the grass on the entry to Graham Hill. I'd say that's the most dangerous place. Well, possibly the second most dangerous place to do it. Touching the grass going into Paddock Hill is probably the worst, because you're carrying so much speed at that particular point.
I can only imagine the reaction of the fans in real life, seeing these monsters going around Brands Hatch back in '78.
Well, especially seeing the drivers having to work so incredibly hard just to try and keep the cars on the road.
Man.
Oh, Schlapinski with a great slide coming out of Graham Hill. Doing a great job in that car. Let's have a quick look back now. Bose is ahead of Bouchard once again. And Lewis Stevens has gotten past Sabre, so Sabre has dropped back. Rocha in 12th at the moment, Chacon 13th, Wattman 14th, Watering 15th.
And team is ahead of Thiago Canola. Team is up into second place now. But Canola is Canola is right with him still. They're not going to let this go. 2 black cars here. One of them much more modern than the other one, but and it appears there was a car off back there. I
wonder if that was Bouchard, maybe?
That was Luciano Rocha's Eagle off the track just for a brief moment, but he's back on now and at speed. Canola looking up the inside briefly as they head down into Paddock Bend, but ducks back behind.
Oh,
he's going to make another attempt.
Tim's overdone it.
Yeah, he's going to make another attempt coming up to Druids here. Is he going to get on the inside? Oh no! And then you have the the Coyote of Chacon there in kind of an awkward place. My goodness, they were very lucky to get out of that without any trouble.
And I think that was mainly down to Canola. I think decided to back out of that. If he had actually gone for the move, I reckon at least Tim would have had a spin, and possibly Chacon or Canola too.
Good grief.
And I mean, I'd say that Tim is driving that car the way it needs to be driven.
Meanwhile,
like I say, that's a short car. Oh, yes, that's Fitch, I think, retired just now outside of Paddock Hill Bend.
That's too bad, because he had one more shot at it with Slipinski and just didn't pan out. But meanwhile, Slipinski is all over Brian Janik here, heading into Druids, looking for a way around that AMC car. And then you got the champion of the series, Brian Janik, just behind them in the Wildcat.
I think Canola now will take the position. Tim running out of rear tires by the looks of things, but he will try to hold on outside.
There he goes, and if he is running out of rear tires, it's not a huge surprise because he's having to basically drive that thing sideways everywhere. That's the nature of that car, by the way. It's not necessarily that Team likes to drive that way, although he seems to be enjoying it. But the car historically was very loose, as a general rule.
Yeah, I know the drivers of those two VPA chassis have talked about how snappy it gets as soon as the fuel burns off. So
yeah,
I can definitely see that there. As back to the action you were talking about, Slapinski again right in behind Yannick heading onto the front straight.
And they got Jakes just hanging back there waiting to see what develops as they head into paddock once more. Not nearly as close this time, but they've got the lapped car of Rocha right in front of them. So he could unwittingly play into this situation. We'll see.
I wonder if this battle here is a case of the four-banger getting better drive off the turns, but then further down the straights the Foyt Ford is a little bit stretching its legs a little bit better and gaining more speed.
Yeah, the V8s have got the legs, no question about it. It's just a matter of, the one saving grace of these cars that have the four-bangers is that you've got the lower end power and you can get off the corner faster. So we'll have to see what happens here coming down the corner. Okay, yeah, they still got these lapped cars they're going to have to deal with in a second. Canola is back in front of Team as well.
Yep, he passed him. Oh, yeah, he passed him coming out of Jim Clark curve a couple of laps ago, and we can see that 42.4 as the fastest lap of the race so far for Canola. So definitely trying to chase after Whited now. Actually, looks like a 12-second lead at the moment for Whited. Oh, and now, that's a bit of contact between Chacon and Rocha. Rocha on the inside of Paddock Hill.
Oh boy, look out.
Lets them past.
Yeah, everybody's trying to get out of the way here so they're not involved in this skirmish. Okay, now this is interesting. Here's the teammate of Slapinski in front of him. I don't know if they had. I mean, I know they had radios back then, but I wouldn't be surprised if, well, no, of course he's not going to hold him up on purpose. He's going to let him through. But there goes Slapinski sliding through as well. So. Yeah, I gotta say, Janik's doing an excellent job fending off these V8s.
Well, this V8, to be fair.
V8. Yes.
Because Yates is not driving a V8 either. He's in
not.
the SGD, I think, was the...
Yes, that's correct. SGD, a modified Offenhauser, more or less.
I suppose it could be put as similar to how Nissan had Nismo as their like tuning workshop, except this was maybe a bit more on the privateer side of things.
I don't know. I think, and I wish Alberto were here to correct me or tell me I'm wrong, but that was very much an in-house. I mean, very, very much aligned with Offenhauser, if I remember correctly. It wasn't. It was certainly an attempt to lengthen the life of the engine in the series, but as we know historically, that was not to be the case. Although Offenhauser's still had pretty decent runs in the series. I mean, Bettenhausen placed third in the 1980 Indianapolis 500, driving a Wildcat Offenhauser.
That's a brave choice.
I think that's down to his driving talent and attrition.
Very likely, yeah. Very decent peddler indeed. As always, as Indy.
So the interesting thing here is the gap between the leader, Jason Whitehead, and Canola is dropping significantly, lap to lap. It is now down to 7.8 seconds.
Wow.
So Canola is gaining very rapidly on Whitehead, and there's plenty of time left for him to catch him.
Question then is Whitehead holding back, saving the tires, and having something to fight with maybe more likely when he catches him.
Wattman just spun right in front of him, and he did an excellent job of threading around the outside. You see that?
I just about caught the tail end of that because another set of cars was coming fast too. Let's see, here we are.
Yeah, this is the benefit of having two commentators. Yeah, he spun right in front of him, and he decided to take the outside, made the right choice, and got around it.
Well, very nice avoidance, but unfortunately for him, that means Canola gained a lot of time.
Yeah, the gap is now only 5.3 seconds between Canola and the leader.
And Tim still running it like a sprint car. And status quo in that battle, and I noticed Tatchak and Bose was getting fairly close too on the timing screens, and they got even closer with that spun car.
Looks like Jakes is trying to size up Ślepinski here. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries an overtake in a second here. He's trying really hard coming out of Clark Curve. But there you
go on.
No, there you go, right there. To your point about the legs of the V8, I think that's what saves Ślepinski there, because Jakes had excellent purchase coming off of that corner, and was just accelerating for all he could coming down there. And I think it was the legs of the V8 that saved Ślepinski there.
Yeah, I was going to say too that I think Jakes' best opportunity is trying to force Ślepinski into a tiny mistake in paddock and then dive up the in or outside at Druids.
Yeah.
Make another one of those brave moves, so to speak. But no, of course, he needs to work in it a few laps to get close enough once again to have that opportunity. Ślepinski now is almost right, but back up with Yannick instead.
The gap now is 5 seconds, so it's staying about where we thought it would. Team may have just simply overcooked his tires, and now he's settled back into a third place. It'll be interesting to see if the trio of Janik and Ślepinski and Jakes can catch up to Canola at some point here. I'm sorry, to Team. Oh, this is very, very dangerous right here as they're trying to get around some lap cars, one of them being Sabre. Everybody, oh my goodness!
That's
Whoa!
That's a very opportunistic try to move, and now Jakes
Look
with
and
an
look at that,
opportunity.
Jakes is really trying now because he thought he might have a chance to get by, but still might have a shot here. Look at them fighting to control those cars. Incredible. I am so glad that I am in the booth and not out there, because this is not my forte. This is not what I would much rather have a smooth car underneath me that is predictably loose, not one that's just going to snap unpredictably. But that's what these guys are having to deal with out there.
It's very much they won't be needing any gym work tomorrow.
No, certainly no upper body work.
Oh dear.
Well, they all made it by.
There, but,
they all made it.
He survived.
Well, they all made it by Watering there with no problem. But still, Schlapinski very, very close to Janik. The gap now to the leader, just so you guys all know, is 3 seconds. So we're gonna have a fight for the lead here in a minute.
Let's see if Jakes makes a move in the next couple of laps, and then we'll probably be time to move up to the
we'll have to
fight for the lead.
Well, I'll keep an eye on this other battle. You can keep an eye on the lead.
Okay.
You know, the funny part is, the very interesting part. Guess who's coming up on this group here that's running 4th, 5th, and 6th?
Did I spy with my little eye the Machinists Union entry?
It is Jason Whitehead, our leader, coming up to this group. So not only does he have to lap these cars, he has to lap a group of cars that is intensely battling each other and will not want to take a break from that so that Whitehead can get through. Meanwhile, Whitehead is being closed in by Canola, so it's going to be some interesting diplomacy going on here. It is an international event after all, so that works out okay. Jakes makes room.
Oh, and Schlapinski does too.
And so does Schlapinski. Very, very sporting.
And now Jakes goes, oi, I want that position. But not quite able to make it there.
So looking backwards now from that lead, yeah, Canola's threading his way through now. Now it's Canola's job to do the same thing. He might not be able to do it with such efficiency as Whitehead did. We'll see. Because the gap right now is 2.4 seconds by the telemetry that I'm looking at. But yeah, he's coming up on. Yeah, Jakes makes way very sportingly.
Schlapinski does the same move once again, letting him pass.
Yes, very good. It's like a replay of what we saw before. Now he just has to get by Fitch. I'm sorry, not
Yannick.
Janik. I'm so used to Fitch driving that car.
Yeah, that's the old Fitch machine.
Yes. And here is it.
Yannick upgraded
Yes,
himself.
he did.
Oh, and Schlapinski missed a gear, and Jakes is passed.
Oh, yep. There they go. Schlapinski up to 6th place.
Let's see, it looks like Canola will have a replay of lapping Yannick too. He does. And 3.5 odd seconds between them.
So we're past half distance in this race at this point. So now it's going to be interesting to see the gap right now between Canola and our leader, Jason Whitehead, is it keeps fluctuating, and it's going to be that way, I think, simply because of the short track. It's 2.6 seconds now, but it's accordioning back and forth quite a lot. Now it's 2.7, but we'll see how quickly Canola can catch up to Whitehead here.
Quite, and the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th is still not over either, because they are still within about a second, make that a 1.5 seconds between each other.
Yeah, I'm listening to Tiago's gearing now, and he's got his car geared relatively conservatively. car's not snapping suddenly or doing any strange things, which is what would be the hallmark of having lower gearing. But I gotta say, he's very smooth coming through Paddock Bend. Heading into Druids now, looking very, very smooth. The gap now is 3.3 seconds. And then comparison, looking at Jason Whitehead, he's got another lapped car in front of him here, but I think he's driving in a bit more of a spirited fashion than Canola is at the moment.
Well, look, I think... no, it's not. It's Lewis Stevens, actually, in front here.
Yeah, Lewis Stevens, who is making way for him on the outside there. Yes, very sporting. Well done. Makes the room. It's the Tom Bigelow car. Gap is, the gap is pretty much holding steady at the moment, so we'll have to see as we get closer to the end here if anyone wants to, if Canola is able to make a late charge.
It's definitely difficult to say, for sure, what's going to happen.
Yeah, cars are getting spread out here. Do we want to do the trivia question answer?
Yeah, we can do that as we wait for things to develop. So, let's see if I can just find where my mouse pointer has ended up.
Oh my goodness, there's a blown engine. That's David Saber, I believe.
Oh,
just
no.
barbecue on the backside of the course for David Saber. That's unfortunate.
That's really unfortunate. He was having a great race up until that point.
Yeah.
Especially very early on. So, the trivia question, just to remind you all, was what special arrangement was required for the USAC Indy cars to compete at Brands? Was it A, a bit of widening of the track? Was it B, cantilevered fuel hoses? Or was it C, neither of the above? Obviously you know the answer, but...
yeah, I ain't saying anything.
I think many answered C on that one.
Yeah, those of you in the YouTube chat, give up your answers now. Let's give the people in the YouTube chat a second to chime in.
Indeed. If I look further up, I can see some of the answers, but let's see if any of our current viewers want to give up their answers. Let's say you have another 30 seconds to give your answer in the chat, if you want to change or otherwise give us your answer.
I'm watching to see if anything happens in the meantime here. Marilyn says she said C earlier.
And the correct answer is B, cantilevered fuel hoses. And as you can see on the picture, maybe not always going entirely according to plan.
Well, the reason for having to have cantilevered fuel hoses is obvious, because the cars typically were going counterclockwise on ovals. So all the fuel ports were on the left-hand side of the car, and it didn't make sense to re-engineer or transfer over the cars for just one race. To the other side. So they just had this. They rigged up these cantilever fuel hoses in order to refuel the cars. I'm sure they probably had a similar situation at Silverstone.
Most
But
likely. Yeah.
but obviously later on in the series, I'm talking like 1980s, 90s, Indy cars under the auspices of CART. Everybody had all the manufacturers of chassis, Lola, Penske, had built in a situation where you could switch over the fuel filler to the other side of the car.
Since the series actually raced on both
Since they're
counter and clockwise and anti-clockwise circuits.
well, it also it depended on where the pits were. Also, if they were on the inside or the outside of the track.
For sure. Well, Richard Coxon got it right, so congratulations, Richard.
Yeah.
For getting the trivia question and answer right.
He's our research expert. I would expect him to get that one right.
Very likely indeed. So let's see, far closer now in the front, 1.3, 1.2 seconds. We can actually see the gap right now.
Yeah, now it's visible. You don't need a clock. You can see it.
And I believe, yep, that's Jonatan right in front of Whited right now.
The third place car about to go a lap down. So the same kind of pacing bore out again in the in the resumed portion of the race that we're doing now.
And about 15 laps from the end, the battle is on for the lead.
And again, there could be some post-race USAC determining of where everybody is based on how the first portion of the race went, but we'll pretend that didn't happen and we'll just focus on this for right now.
Quite. And I finally get to use one of my favorite cameras on this car. Looking back from the rear right wing mounting.
Yeah.
Without it looking out of place, because we can actually see what's going on behind. I mean, this camera position feels very much similar to what you would see in, say, Super Touring, where you had the camera right mounted probably from inside the car, like right by the right front door of many cars, and you could see the tire really working as it went across the road and over the bumps and curbs and everything.
Well, I gotta say, Whitehead's really oh my goodness, Tasiak almost lurched into the path of Thiago there. Fortunately, did not cause an incident, but Whitehead has been handling the traffic very well in both portions of this race. A couple cars up ahead here for Whitehead to deal with. Is that the two Coyotes again? One's Chacon. No, the other one's Bouchard.
I think they are fighting for position, actually.
Might be, yeah.
They would have been, but they are 2 laps apart.
Oh my goodness, look at Bouchard going all the way to the wall there. Okay, this is rather... Okay, well, that worked out okay. Thiago is showing pits on his board, which strikes me as kind of strange. And he would be pitting with 13 laps to go.
Well, that would be...
Maybe it's just an automated...
very likely. I mean, he could be running to a very, very tight fuel window, and that's why it's showing up now, and he has calculated to be exactly what he needs to make it to the end.
We'll see.
Well, he's dropped back considerably.
Well, he doesn't go into the pits this time.
I also wonder if that may be him going from 7th to 2nd a bit too hastily.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. But Brian Janik is getting closer again to Ślepinski, and Ślepinski has got some cars in front of him to lap.
Indeed, and Schlapinski is actually in third at the moment because Tim, I think, will have pitted. No, he won't. He can't have pitted, but he must have made a mistake because he's back to 6th.
Yeah, he had to have made a mistake somewhere along the line. We were just watching the lead. Rocha makes room here, so yeah, Janik is stalking Schlapinski at the moment.
Tim's still running hard though. Rear end out. I wonder, could he have pitted for tires and have that much speed extra?
I don't know. Having not practiced at this, I mean, the last time I practiced on this circuit, these cars, as Schlapinski goes for the pits now, so that'll bring Janik up to 3rd place. So yeah, I guess some people did factor in a pit stop. They chose speed and light. Maybe the cars handle that much better with less fuel in them, so they figured the better thing to do was to go with less fuel and plan a pit stop.
I suppose that's a possibility, but certainly sounds a bit dramatic if you can make it on a tank and
I don't know.
run just a little bit conservative.
Well, they're the ones driving the cars. They know best.
True,
in any case,
true.
Whitehead overtaking Rocha here, and I'm sure Rocha's going to make plenty of room for it. Yes, he does for Canola, so no histrionics there. And the leader and 2nd place are right together.
Yep, with 10 laps to go as they cross the line.
Yeah, 10 laps to go just now. So as we like to say in NASCAR, it's show and tell time. Time is running out here. If Canola has anything for Whitehead, now's the time to show it.
For sure. Both of them driving extremely well, so no matter which of them wins, this will be a very deserved win. And we're back again also with the fact that the RAS car could win its first ever race, both at ISO and
period
in history.
Jake's it's funny too, because talking about cars that very rarely win, those of you know the Tyrrell 6-wheeler won only one race in actual guess here's John Team again, being lapped by our leaders. The 6-wheeler only won one race, and it was the Swedish Grand Prix in my co-commentator's homeland in 1976. It was many years later in a vintage event where it actually won a race, and they pointed out this is only the 2nd win for this car. 2nd win coming in a vintage meet. So who knows if a RAS car won something at a vintage meet somewhere along the line? But I'm willing to bet no. Lewis Stephens doing a great job getting out of the way. Although he's going to be... Oh, goodness! Well, he held up Canola there unwittingly, so that's going to stunt it.
He did, but unfortunately it's a case of you sort of need to go for the corner at some point.
Yeah, you do. You can't just hang out there forever. Oh my goodness, Whitehead had a huge moment there just now. The car just totally stepped out on him. And this is Janik that... God, these guys are going to be incredibly tired by the end of this.
Definitely so. This is a proper workout. And look at that, Tim almost caught up to Janik too, so maybe Tim will still get a 3rd place.
Possibly.
Tasha retired just now.
Shoot.
That's very unfortunate.
My goodness, Whitehead is having to fight the car like crazy. All you have to do is look at on board and look at the wheel and look at how it's just sawing back and forth, and you get an idea of the kind of effort he's having to put in just to keep the car pointed the correct direction. Like, watch how much he's sawing at it in the corners. Like, as he comes off a corner, watch this. Here, not so much, but where he's really having to saw at it is coming out of Clark Curve. Watch up there. and the thing just is just jamming back and forth, just trying to keep purchase with the road and take care of opposite locks. See there? He just keeps having to do little corrections. Here he's actually a bit more stable than he was before. He was way out of shape earlier. But it is a big balancing act that these two are having to do to get the most out of the car. A puff of smoke there ahead, so looks like there's more might be more lapped cars ahead here. But fantastic drive from these two today.
Indeed, very much so.
In both instances of the race. Janik doing really well. Chacon ends up entering the top 10. He had a 5th place on the plate if we had continued with the previous race, but unfortunately he's back down in 10th now.
Well, but again, he's making sure to finish the race.
Yes, he is, which is what he always does. We're used to seeing, but my goodness. Whited.
Here's the lap traffic too.
Yeah, that's Chacon. Well, that shouldn't be a problem. But Whited giving this car way more TV time than it ever had in real life. And the same can be said for Canola. That car, actually, well, there was a small feature made on Joe Saldana in that car, so it did get some film time.
Oh dear.
Documentary time.
Yeah, but now it's getting close.
Oh boy.
Whited slightly checked up behind Chacon to make sure he was being given room, and Canola went for it, and now nose to tail with 3 laps to go.
Now we get into the case where it's almost like a lottery situation. If you catch the car wrong, or something happens, or you miss a gear or something, that other guy's by you instantly. Unless he runs into you. So it could very quickly develop like that. We'll see.
Oh, but look at that! Whited very well through Graham Hill and opened up a tiny bit of breathing room once again.
2 laps to go, coming around this time now. So this is going to be a very interesting 2 laps here.
Oh, for sure.
This is the penultimate lap right now. Great race between these two. Look at that. Look how close he's getting now. He might have a chance here as they come up to Druids. No, he decides I'm not going to try that now. Yeah. Canola's just waiting for the right time to pounce.
Well, that
but
Whited is really good off Druids and down the hill through Graham Hill.
Whited's getting the maximum out of this car, I have to say. And again, let me stress, this is not a off-the-shelf new car. This is a very old design. Look at Watchering. Oh my goodness. Okay, white flag. 1 lap to go. That may have been what. Although here comes. Look at this. Here comes Canola.
Oh, and Bouchard to lap 2. So still things can happen. Oh, and Whited a little bit deep, but so is Canola.
Yeah. Kind of an even draw there from both of them. As they come down the backside, I mean, really, if
oh, it's on right here, lapped car and final turns of the race.
If Canola has a chance, this is it right now. As they come up to Bouchard, the chances now.
Goes wide. Nicely
Bouchard
done.
goes wide. Now it's down to who gets on the power the best.
And it looks like Whited is the one.
Yep, Whited is going to take the win, and a well-deserved one.
Wow, what a drive!
Fantastic, fantastic driving from both of these gentlemen this evening. Where is Janik at? He's coming across the line with plenty of room between himself and our champion David Jakes.
So Jakes finishes 4th.
Yes.
Slapinski coming around now through the final turn and getting it all sideways.
Ooh, almost on the grass there, but he's going to finish in 5th.
Oh, and John Team retires on the final lap.
Oh my goodness.
Bose finishing 6th. Tim will then be classified in 7th. Louis Stevens finishes 8th. Bouchard 9th. Chacon gets his top 10 finish. Watering finishes 11th.
That's interesting. It almost... I mean, I know that Team had pitted earlier, so this couldn't possibly be running out of fuel. Perhaps the engine let go?
Possibly. Difficult to say for sure, but...
I'm watching the replay right now, but it just looks like he just slows down. He's very, very slow coming out of Druids. He just pulls off.
User joined your channel.
Possibly a blown engine, then.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's a blown engine. A blown
John Team, yes, he blew an engine on the final
blown
lap.
engine.
That's unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
He was having a fantastic race up until that point, especially with that Interscope Racing VPGA, which is, as we mentioned, a bit of a loose cannon.
Well, that was a very entertaining second portion of the race for sure.
Yes, so now the USAC committee will have to withdraw and think about what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it could be treated as an aggregate of both results.
It could be. We'll see how it works out.
Okay.
To answer Angel May there, the answer to the trivia question was B, the cantilevered fuel hoses. As I can see Tiago on his way, I think, to the broadcast booth. But while we have you here, Juha, congratulations on, was that 6th in the end?
It's provisionally 6th, yes. We'll see how the first race comes into play for it.
Oh, of course.
But
it looked like you had a good bit of fun in that second part of the race.
Yeah, and I didn't get punted off in this one. I could actually race a bit. I think I was roughly where I should have been. I was hoping to challenge Cesarius a bit more, but I ran out of laps for it. But yeah, 6th is pretty good. Better than expected anyway.
That's good to hear. And I would guess your car wasn't overly happy with this tighter layout, but Silverstone for the final round, maybe a bit more to the Penske's taste, and maybe yours too.
Both, I think. Absolutely not like this track. Never did. I'll be happy on a track which has a few straights where I can actually do something. It's not definitely on my thing.
And that's fully understandable. The Brands Hatch Indy is definitely a bit of a Mickey Mouse affair. And as I said to Jason earlier on, it's I've won touring car races at the Indy layout, but I don't like driving it. Let's see. Just waiting to see if Tiago will join us or not. But yeah.
It appears he's content to stay in the default channel and not the green room. So I guess he's not expecting to be interviewed. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that case, then any great race this one. Any final thoughts from you, Jason? And
only that the people who finished towards the front had to work very, very, very hard. Tiago says that the broadcast is blocked. So, well, Tiago, you have to go into the green room if you want to be interviewed. That's what a green room is for. Yeah. Okay. Now he's in the green room. Okay. All right. There we go.
User was moved to your channel.
So now Tiago's here. I usually can't pull people into the broadcast booth, so that's when Jason isn't here. That's why I usually create a different channel, Tiago. But congratulations on second place, I suppose. with the start you had to the second part there, I would guess you're quite happy with the second.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good. I think in the beginning of the second half of the race, I didn't start well. People behind me had a lot of momentum, so I dropped like, I don't know, 6-7 positions back. And it was quite hard to overtake people there, even having much more pace, because the straight line speed wasn't the biggest advantage for me. So I struggled quite a lot. And yeah, I think after I reached second place, I was trying to chase Jason, but I think he was just like coasting and just like taking his time because he knew exactly what the car was capable of. So he knew he could defend and he could hold the position even if I was just behind him, trying to any different line because his acceleration was much more superior. But yeah, very happy with the result.
That's good to hear. And how did you find the experience around this place? You didn't quite enjoy it, but this Mickey Mouse stuff with big USAC cars, positive or negative in your view?
Yeah, I like the place, but these cars, they don't brake very well. It's very hard to outbrake anybody. And turn one is very technical. The car gets very loose. And turn two, like impossible to outbrake people without pushing, whoever is in the outside line would be pushed away off the track. So it's very strange, very hard to get on power in these cars too. So I had to choose a different gear ratio. I was using very different gears. I was going from second in the last turn. I was going from second to fourth, and then after the hairpin, I was doing first gear, and then I shifted third gear because I didn't want to have too much torque in that left turn going downhill. Because the car was very tail happy there, and I didn't want to shift in that short straight because I would lose time. So I think that was the best compromise. And yeah, it's very strange to race with this Indy with these USAC cars in any road course. It's very strange, very different to set up to.
And I'd assume quite a workout. We were discussing the way everyone had to saw at the wheel to keep it on the track, and I would suspect are you, as many others most likely are, very tired, or would you feel like, yeah, we can go for another round?
I'm exhausted because the tension was so at the limit. The whole time I was just fighting with the car. In every turn, I had to hit my marks like precisely, and the car always wanted to go away from me. Turn one was like, even during my practice, I had spun several times in turn one because the weight transfer was so massive there, and that was the most tense part of the track for me. And my tires are like destroyed now. My tires, no, sorry, my arms are pretty much destroyed now. I'm very tired.
Well, then no gym workout tomorrow. No, none needed. Well, congratulations once again on second place. Anything you would like to ask him, Jason?
No, I think you guys covered it well.
Well then, any final thoughts further from you, Jason, apart from the hard work aspect of things?
Only that we're going to finish on a much higher speed note at Silverstone, and looking forward to next week when we run touring cars at Power Car. Should be a lot of fun, as long as you're not one of the cars that gets punted out.
Förlåt, Lucy. Very much so. I would agree with both those sentiments, and was great to see some really, really good battles here tonight as well. But yeah, next weekend we will be racing at Paul Ricard for the final I think the final Lucas Vidra Trophy event.
It's rounds 4, 5, and 6.
Yep. So it's a free race duel, and it's going to be one hell of a race. And there are still cars available for that if anyone watching would like to have a stab at racing with us. And those touring cars are a great entryway into racing with us. But yeah, apart from that, thank you very much, Jason, for joining me for calling commentary tonight, and
Oh, thanks for having me.
and thank you to Johan and Tiago for joining us for some post-race interviews, and congratulations also for finishing the race there. And congratulations to everyone who took part. It was a grueling race for sure, and good fun to watch. And yeah, until 2 weeks from now, in terms of broadcasts, we will be away, but we'll be back in 2 weeks' time for the final round of the USAC Championship, and we will be back next weekend racing, although not broadcasted. Until then, take care, everyone. Have a great week, and look after each other. Good night, everyone.